if you or other individuals from your organization would like to join. And the second is just a poster one-pager with the QR code to the sign-up form as well. But my name is Sophie, in case I haven't met you. Pleasure to be here. I am the product manager for the platform, and we've been working with the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance working group for, nearly a bit over a year now to develop some functionality. So it's been a while, and we're really excited because we're constantly pushing new functionality. So I will do a combination of a recap and showcase some of the newest functionality and point to what we're working on next. Quick show of hands, if you can use the raise hand emoji that's at the top of the Teams window. If you are new to the platform, you have not really logged on or explored it yet. So you can raise your hand. Okay, I don't see, okay, I see a few raised hands. Thank you. And then I'm assuming the rest of you have already dabbled to some extent. So just raise of hands who have explored it. How many of you do you think have a comfortable grasp on most of the features of the platform? Played around with it. Okay, I don't see many hands. So I'm going to assume that most of you have maybe logged in a little bit, but have not explored much. So I'm going to tailor the demonstration to that and share my screen. And there'll be plenty of time at the end for questions as well. Can you see my screen? Great. So when you log onto the platform, you will see that you arrive at the dashboard. This is the landing page. It is going to highlight a few elements of the platform. And really, as a reminder, what we have built here at Creo is a market intelligence platform that pulls together different data sources to provide you insights and the ability to do market maps and view and explore deal flow opportunities within climate and sustainability. So we at Creo sit at the heart of investment professionals, but also companies and funds that are raising in the space. So we have a way that we request information directly from these companies and funds that are raising. So we review about 1,000 to 1,200 deals a year for companies and directs. So this is what we call the Creo deal flow here. This is what shows up here. They go through a quick diligence, just a review process with our investment team, but everything is pre-NDA as we are a nonprofit. Therefore, this platform showcases a landscape of opportunities, and it is up to all the platform users to actually take the diligence in the next step. In addition to this, we are pulling external data sources to supplement our universe of companies and funds. So we have around 16,000 companies that is pulled from Crunchbase primarily, so publicly available information on latest historical rounds, etc. For funds, we are pulling from Preqin to supplement some of the basic information on funds, such as vintage, etc., and status, if it's still open or not. And for those who are existing Preqin users, you will actually be able to have access to impact and performance data that is available on Preqin. So that's through a partnership with them that we just launched a couple months ago. Then we have a set of investors. Again, these are pulling from Crunchbase, so they are not necessarily climate-focused investors, but they represent the set of investors who have invested in a company that we have marked as climate and sustainability relevant on the platform. And we also have about 1.4 thousand Creo deals. Those are companies and funds and projects that have come in through the Creo deal flow pipeline that we've reviewed before publishing, and for which we have a lot of additional information. Then we have two components to our platform. This is the library, which is the knowledge building section. So we as an organization at Creo, we produce nearly 20 research reports a year, but we also are pulling external sources as well on publicly available research reports in the space. And we also have a growing network of experts that you can request to be connected with as well. Two functionality that we are developing in the next month, so look out, please log in again, and we will send updates as well through the NZAOA general communication channels, is one, we are launching a philanthropy tab. These are philanthropic opportunities, so it is responding to funding needs that our members support. Our members actively support several grantees of nonprofits in the climate space, responding to a severe lack of funding at the moment. So CREO is stepping in to try and support these initiatives as well, not changing the original vision of CREO, which is to support investors and catalyze investments in the space. The second feature that we're launching is the ability to save lists and share them across teams members. So this is going to be really helpful for you to customize the actual subsets of interest for you. And this is working towards the next phase of the platform, which is going to be highly curated to your interests with recommendations and the ability to just save your views. So I'm going to do a few workflows, but skip the very basic level, as some of this is self-explanatory, but just explaining to you lay of the land, and then we can go through more specific examples at the end of the call. So the platform is structured into tabs to explore different subsets of data. So there is a companies tab, as well as funds, projects, investors, etc. I'm going to go through them in order, but the companies tab pulls together those 16,000 companies, primarily pulled from Crunchbase. We also capture all of the companies that we know our CREO members have invested in. Nowhere on this platform will you find who the CREO members are. So we do not disclose CREO membership. We just disclose if a CREO member has invested in an opportunity. So there is, for example, a member portfolio filter, yes. And if you toggle this to yes, you will see a subset of companies invested by members. The companies are organized by our proprietary climate taxonomy that is pulled from several influences from, for example, part of the EU Green Taxonomy, the NAICS codes and the NAICS codes of industry classifications, and looking at other frameworks that have defined the climate space. So if you click on this, it'll take you to a more detailed guide on that as well. But essentially for companies, we try and capture the verticals that they belong to, business activities, etc. So for example, here you can see that we have several industry verticals related to climate, energy being a big one. Then there's natural resources, industry, built environment, food, information technology, finance, insurance, and human impact. So we can do several things. We can navigate within this high-level chart to generate a bit of a market map where we group companies by the latest funding round size, color-coded by the HQ region, and then grouped together in this verticals bucket. So we can also view the list here, and it'll pull up some of the largest companies at the top, organized by funding rounds. And if we click on this, it'll open a card view with some information combined from Crunchbase and also CREO. So if a card view has this deal information section, it means it comes from the CREO deal flow, and it means that this company will have a pre-NDA investment deck with a lot more information. So we really recommend, if you see this investment deck, this is where the interesting stuff is. So please explore it, click into it, and you'll open a new tab. Then we also are pulling a basic description, some overview fields on where the company is based, all of the investors in the space, the taxonomy of how this company is classified according to our taxonomy, some CREO metrics of whether it's part of the deal flow, whether a member has invested or done diligence, and whether we as a team have interviewed. And then some historic funding rounds where we also include the round that came in through CREO. It may still be open. So this is where we combine Crunchbase historical closed rounds and CREO potentially open rounds as well. There's also a few analytics tabs. So here at the top, you can view sort of more of a count and distribution of companies by vertical focus, but I can also switch this to view by impact goals. So these are all impact goals related to climate and sustainability as well. So if you knew you wanted to explore, for example, sustainable agriculture, you can click into this and it will open all of the sustainable ag companies here in the space. Funding trends takes a second to load, but essentially shows the historical trend of total funding amount pulled by Crunchbase. You can't really drill into this graphic right now, but it just shows if I were to apply, for example, within just built environment companies, then I can update these visuals as well. And then just showing you that you can apply multiple filters together. So if I wanted to apply all the companies in the built environment space that focus on construction, for example, as you can see by our business activities, this is quite a long granular list of specific business activities connected to NAICS codes, so industry classification codes used in North America, but there's the European equivalent as well, and the rest of the world has a similar classification. So I recommend you just take a little bit of time to explore these. The most useful thing to search for companies of interest for those that are interested in directs is to, I think, use a combination of verticals, products, which will allow you to search for very specific underlying products and services. So you can see here, we have a ton of things that show up if you search for specific keywords, and then impact goals. So if you're focused around a specific, goal. We are developing the save search feature where if you click on this, it will prompt you to save it in a specific list, and you can either save via filters or you can add specific companies or any of these entities to a list. Now, most of you will probably more be interested in the funds tab, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time and show a few examples of funds as well. But here, this is a very similar layout. So we have some filters to apply on the left-hand side and this Marimekko chart to click into in the main screen, and you can toggle and view our universe of funds tagged according to impact goal or asset class as well. And you can also at any point search for specific lists or GPs as well. So if I search for a GP here, it should show me the two funds that show up under this GP. And if you click into a specific fund, you'll see some information on it, and the amount of information depends on the source. So some of them have this investment deck, meaning they came from the Career Deal Flow. Again, pre-NDA investment deck, but a ton of useful information on. It also includes some target performance data as well. So lots of key information there as well. But there's also basic information on the fund manager, the target close dates, basic information on their taxonomy. Again, the career taxonomy. It's a little bit less granular than the company's taxonomy, but we try to still keep the same so that we can work towards better understanding the space at large. And then some impact metrics, which I'll show you a few examples of funds that report on how they are tracking and reporting on impact. And then some high-level GP profile data. Now, this platform is a tool where you can search for funds in a specific sector, but I would say it's also quite helpful to view co-investment opportunities. So here I'm going to explore follow-on investors for, let's say, growth stage portfolio funds in built environment. So here I'm going to apply a few filters across asset class and my taxonomy to actually have a subset of funds and GPs relevant to what I'm searching for. So within asset classes, I'm going to focus on growth, equity, private equity, and venture capital. And then for verticals, let's say I'm going to focus on built environments And for the impact goals, I'm focused on green buildings. Funds will have multiple verticals and multiple business impact goals. So if it's relevant to the main strategy of the fund, it will be included. So there are 35 funds that show up in this universe. And you can see the list. You can also toggle the types of columns that appear here. And if you add a description, then you'll see a little bit of the high-level view on what the fund does. And if we click into, for example, this one, there's some additional fund metrics. This is also information pulled from Preqin. So we have pulled a few fields such as vintage, the management fee, carry tied to impact, etc., that we're displaying for all users, regardless or not if you're a Preqin user. If you click on this shows Preqin metrics that is available for Preqin users. So these are, in the case that Preqin has performance data on the fund, it will be displayed here. It's still fairly spotty for private markets, so we have whatever is available on Preqin. And then we also are putting in ESG impact reporting data as well. So there are several data pieces here that may be of interest, but some contact information, some of the SASB risk factors indications. And then here, a breakdown of portfolio companies with an outline of sort of risk. And there is much more detail in our support platform documents that outline Preqin's methodology as well for calculating these. So here, if you go back to the list, this is also very helpful to try and identify all of the GPs in the space, and then understand who are similar sized investors who are also looking at this industry. I will keep going, but please note any questions that you have in the chat, or just note them to ask in about 10 minutes. But I will keep going onwards to show all the functionality tabs. The next relatively new feature that we launched 2 months ago is the projects tab. So this is fully Creo deal flow projects. So these are projects that have submitted through our pipeline that we have revealed. And the benefit of this tab is that we have a lot of members who are working on de-risking first-of-a-kind technologies, so more on the earlier side, maybe perhaps less relevant for this cohort here, but interesting to see even some larger infrastructure type project deals. And we are looking to bring in those larger, later stage projects as well, if that is of interest. So I know several of you from working with the working group are interested in some of those larger, later stage deals as well. So we have specific, I will just show a few examples here. So if we apply the energy vertical and we update this, and it shows me the breakdown of the projects that are within this bucket. Quite a lot of projects exist here, but then I can pull in and search for specific projects in the space. So let's say I open Sage Geosystems, which is geothermal, a very hot space at the moment. You can see that we're pulling a ton of very specific project level fields as well, such as just the project information, the offtake agreement secured and whether they've secured government funding, etc., different stages of the project build, as well as just where do they sit compared to their previous project, what is scale, etc. And here we also have how much they're raising at the raise level, the type of investment that it is. So it could be corporate equity, or it could also be project level, or a combination of debt and equity as well. The stage of the company, and how much is actually being raised for the project, the cost of the project, etc. So lots there, as well as the investment deck for more information. Not going to spend too much time, but there are additional filters as well that you can filter based on the stages and the size of the project, etc. Moving on to investors, this is a larger database of all the investors that we have from all of the companies on our platform. So just pulling that from Crunchbase. So if I were to open a specific investor, I would see a card view showing some basic information on the investor. If they have funds that are public on Crunchbase, we will pull those in. And then we are displaying all of their investments on the platform, broken down by investment stage. We can also pull all the investments that they have on Crunchbase. So for example, here, out of their portfolio of 62 companies on Crunchbase, we are putting on the platform 59, so the majority, because this is an investor that is focused in sort of the clean energy space. So it makes sense that we're putting most of their portfolio. And then you can actually click into the company listed in that portfolio from the investment page and see, okay, great, this is a company in their portfolio that actually had previously last year submitted a deal. So we do mention if this deal is outdated as well. And then here, this is interesting to see out of the companies that we have on our platform and tagged with our taxonomy, what is the thematic breakdown of this portfolio? So here we can quickly see that there is a large focus on energy and industry, which makes sense. And within the business activities, heavy on manufacturing, so more of that hard tech, with some perhaps software elements through this information technology bucket as well. So quite helpful to have a high-level visual of the investor, their portfolio, and how it relates to the climate space. And you can also pull in specific filters, such as viewing all the investors for this specific company that we have as well. So you can go company, drill down into the list of investors, or filter directly from the portfolios of investors who has invested in energy or food or etc., any of the taxonomy elements as well. And you can also filter by HQ region or country, etc. Great. Moving on to the Creo deal flow, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is a subset of the companies and funds and projects that we are putting in through that Creo pipeline. So here is just a condensed view. If you want to cut to the chase, show me all of the interesting deal flow opportunities that you at least know that Creo has done a high-level diligence on. So here we're just displaying the past 30 days, but on these tabs, you will actually see a historic. So for funds, what are the funds that have come in? This is a plot over time of the funds by target size. So quite interesting to see that even though this has been maybe a slower past few months, the activity has been still quite active, at least on the fund space. And if we toggle to companies, let's see what's going on there. Yeah, so we still have had a lot of inbound companies raising. So good to see that Creo is still a very active community and a lot of interesting work is still happening now. So lots to explore there. And then we are organizing by the default view will be in decreasing a sort of publish date, so most recent to least recent. So you can see the ones that have just come in. This is as of today as well. And again, all of these companies, funds, and projects on this tab will have this investment deck. On the research library side, so this is more of the knowledge building component of Creo. This is a very important part of what we do with our members, but also with the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance partnership. We have been developing these quarterly knowledge building sessions on different thematics. So the next one is, again, July 11th on CDR. But knowledge building and actually getting up to speed with the latest developments, both from a policy, but also technology and market shaping perspectives have been really important. And this is a tool that we wanted to develop on the platform as well. So within our research library, you can see multiple different elements. On the left, we have all of our research reports with the latest showing at the top. So this is the latest Creo research not just boasting here, but I did publish this. It just happened to be published yesterday. But if you display filters, you can actually filter by sources. So we are putting from a ton, about 150 external sources, such as the big consulting firms, the consultancy firms focused on climate as well. Again, these are publicly available. We will be changing the layout of the library a little bit in the next month as well. But for now, if you wanted to view, for example, all of the CREO published sources, you could filter for CREO and see the types of research reports. If you click into a research report, you can see a quick AI-enhanced summary. And if you click on this, it will open the full PDF in a window on the platform. Great. And then if you go back to this default view, you'll see a quick recent news reel. And at any time, if you click on your settings here, you will be able to see and unselect specific library sources, but also news feeds. So for example, I don't have Financial Times, but if I am subscribed to Financial Times here, I can select those, save my feed preferences, refresh the actual browser, and then I will see that the Financial Times outline, for example, the wonderful heat wave that we are facing in the northeast of the US at the moment. Then there are two additional AI features that you can actually explore within the research library. The first is this Ask a Question, where you can quickly extract trends, summarize green building technology innovations in recent years. As an example, it's better if you formulate it as a question that is specific enough on a subsector that the model is basically generating a quick output based on our research library. So better if you enter something a little bit more specific than less. If you enter just, solutions for climate decarbonization, it might be too broad for the model to actually output anything relevant. And again, the benefit of this is that it is pulling from our condensed research library of climate and sustainability relevant reports. So this should be quite helpful to at least directionally point you into an area of further research, confirm a hypothesis that you have in the space, or just learn a little bit more. And it will extract the most relevant research reports that were used to generate at the bottom as well. And this is saved, so you will not lose it if you click on asking another question. The history will actually keep track of all of the past queries. So I had looked on trends in geothermal investments in the US, and it will show me some, again, quick macro current investment landscape, projections, drivers, and challenges, and the sources that were used here as well. We're using Claude's, the Anthropic large language model, which is one of the leading in the space on anything that is text-based summarization and insights generation. And the last sort of library feature is this AI research report generator. So I can enter something quite specific or broader, but again, it works best if you enter something, let's enter geologic hydrogen. And if we generate a report, it will combine by default, these two toggles will be selected. So it will combine our research library of reports with real-time data pulled from the web. So we recommend doing this because this is leveraging the power of LLM to summarize from a very wide range of sources. But we're also supplementing with the understanding that some LLMs might be a little bit outdated. We are supplementing with other more recent web sources as well. And it takes just short of a minute to load. And what it does is that it generates an overview, a taxonomic breakdown with some key trends, etc. And each section is interactive, so you can expand and drill down into subsectors of interest. So for example, quick overview on what geologic hydrogen is, some of the key trends the industry faces. So let's expand into the early stage geologic hydrogen exploration technology, but also seeing, for example, I'm interested in seeing some of the government level support for this, can expand, can actually pull in data as well. There's a quick suggested taxonomic breakdown of the space. So this is just how to think about the space, perhaps cross-check with several subsectors of the space that you are interested in. And then you can say, okay, I'm really only interested in the production or extraction method of geologic hydrogen. So then you can drill down further into these. And there's a market map of some of these key players, whether it be in the more of the exploration or who are providing the technologies versus more of the infrastructure market drivers as well. There's some time series data with sources at the bottom that you can also convert into a chart. So we try to add the very high level sort of global investment trends as well. And at the bottom, some sources that we use to generate the report. So this is really helpful for us to just cross-check, identify the sources used, and do further reading. So we have the CREO research report. We have some LLM-provided references that the model was trained on, and we have some additional real-time references with some more recent sources as well that you can actually click into as well. So you can see the sections that I've expanded at the top have a little bit of a breakdown of whatever you expanded and some references that we use to generate this as well. And at the bottom, there we go. So just seeing some time series data of converting that plot into a visual. Okay, the last super quick feature that I'm going to show is experts, and then I will pause for questions. Experts is a growing database. At the moment, we have 32, but we do plan to expand this much further. We initially sourced these from recommendations that our team and our membership has worked with in the past. And all of these are willing to be contacted by users on the platform. So if you're interested in, for example, the natural resources and environment sector, and you want to talk with someone who is an expert in the space, and you can actually click into this, see, in this case, more of a legal expert, etc. And we will flag if this is a third-party service provider where perhaps the initial consultation will be free, but further work will be, expectation is to be charged. Probably less relevant for some folks in the room who already have your asset managers, external partners, and external expert resources, but at least for the CREO membership and depending on your structure, it can be really helpful to just have access to an expert database in the climate and sustainability investment world. So I've done a lot of talking. I will pause here. We have about 20 minutes to just go into any additional workflows and questions, but I'll give everyone a time to digest, and please feel free to post questions in the chat. Okay, I see a few questions. So first I'll start with Daniel's question from Allianz, and then anyone else who has questions, please either raise hand or add in the chat.